Like many food companies, A&W is betting on customer demand for more sustainable fast food and rolling out a slate of menu changes that include plant-based Beyond Meat burgers, plus switching to paper straws as one example. We've got the company's Chief Executive Officer with us, Susan Senecal. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So it's interesting because we are seeing in the quick serve space a real thinking about sustainability, which feels like a disconnect. Is it resonating? Do you find it's driving sales?
You know, what we find is that people are really interested. They want to do better. People want to get out there and make a difference. They want to do the right things. And I think when we can help them do that affordably, conveniently, it really makes a positive difference to their life, and it makes our impact greater. So it's been very good.
We should focus on Beyond Meat because it really, I think it even surprised the company at how popular it was, because you got into this whole kind of supply issue. All sorted out, there's enough Beyond Meat for everyone?
Beyond Meat 7 days a week in every A&W across Canada. It's been great. No, it did exceed our expectations. But from a taste perspective, we loved it at the first bite, and I think our guests did too.
And so when you think about the sustainable option, is it a more expensive one that pays off, or are you actually finding ways of thinking of paper straws and the like? Do you actually save money, or is it kind of a...
No, you know what? I think when you're the first, when we were the first ones to announce, first ones to get in, it's always a little bit more expensive because you don't have the volumes, you don't have the production capabilities and all of those types of things. But the way we look at it is if we take those first steps, it'll be worth it in the long run. We're doing the right things for our guests, and that's paid off for us, and I think it's paid off for them too.
I was interested to see that you actually have fairly, what it looks like ambitious growth plans in terms of actual stores. What drives that? What's your thinking around the right number of locations for you?
Well, really, I think we're fortunate in one way in the sense that we grew up as a business mostly in Western Canada, and over the past 10 years or so, we've really been expanding our number of restaurants and our convenience in Eastern Canada, Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritimes. And especially in Ontario and Quebec, there's so much opportunity for us. Our restaurants are very successful, and people are really clamoring to get more of the great taste of A&W, and we're taking that to heart.
What's the biggest competition that you face? Is it another quick serve restaurant? Is it an alternative altogether?
I think who we're serving is people who are in a need for something really quick, something really tasty. And so anyone who serves that need is part of, I think, the industry that we compete in. But I think A&W's taste has served us so well over so many years, and that's really the number one reason why people come is for the great taste, and we have a bit of a responsibility to offer great tasting options for everyone who wants A&W.
Great taste at great value, of course. Where does food inflation and sort of your price point fit into this?
Yeah, I think one of the choices that we've made as we've introduced most of our innovation is to keep prices at the same affordable level that they were before, and just hopefully people will choose with us more often. That's been happening, and then that enables us to keep going and keep the pace of innovation up. That's what we're really aiming for, is an ability to respond really quickly, and we've been able to do that, so we're pleased with our progress in that area.
You've been with the company a long time, and you're a lifer at A&W.
26 years.
How important is that in terms of when you look around at the people that work for you, at your franchisees, that kind of level of loyalty, or how, when you're thinking about talent?
I think it's hugely important that we're able to develop those long-term relationships. I mean, trust goes such a long way in terms of being able to make speedy, effective changes. And the great news is that we're able to develop that same type of loyalty and longevity among the people who have joined us more recently. So every year we're getting younger and younger as a company, but with longer and longer tenure. So that's kind of a magical combination that served us exceedingly well, both at our franchisee level as well as at our corporate staffing level.
We've seen, to a really surprising degree, the amount of friction that can exist with franchisees and a head office over at Tim Hortons. I think it's shocked everybody that could go on. Is there always that tension because there may be slightly different agendas for a franchise operator versus head office?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think for A&W, if you ask almost anyone at A&W what's the secret to our success, probably get two answers. One is strategy, our sort of relentless focus on and dedication to strategy, and the other one is climate. We invest enormously in the climate, the working relationship with all of our partners, whether that's suppliers, with our franchisees. We have learned over many, many years that we learn from one another. We're a Canadian brand, Canadian company, and so we need to depend a lot more on one another, and I think we've really raised that relationship skill and our willingness to make those kinds of listening exercises work really well for ourselves and learn from each other. That's what's made us a success, and so I think that's a strength.
So how big is your ambition? How big could you get when you think of that, kind of, whether it's in Canada, outside of Canada?
It'll be in Canada because we're Canadian. So I think we've got lots of opportunity. We've got so many more restaurants out in Western Canada than we do in Ontario and Quebec. And with Ontario nearing 14 million in population, I think there's lots more opportunities for A&Ws right here in Ontario as well as in some other provinces. And our Western developments, we keep finding surprising new great opportunities as well. So I think the population's growing. Demand is growing.
And only 20 seconds here, but so I understand that means a U.S. expansion is not in your immediate future.
Correct.
You're not interested?
No.
All right, we will leave it there. Great to have you with us for this.
Thank you.